Canelo Crawford is just around the corner, a few months away to September 13th. And when you look at this fight, obviously a lot of people are talking about it on social media, such as X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of it. And people are posting about their predictions, who they think is going to win the fight, all of that. Well, the other day I was on YouTube and I happened to see a community post, and it was a poll of who has the better boxing resume, Canelo or Crawford. And it was 80% Canelo, 10% Crawford. And I just wanted to see the comments. I wanted to see what people said. And a lot of people were saying, this is stupid. I shouldn't even answer this. Canelo obviously has the better resume. Only the fanboys would vote for Crawford. So the 10% was nothing but fanboys. All of that. It sounds crazy, but when you just barely look at them, people are going to say Canelo. But it's deeper than that. Resumes aren't just a record, okay? It's not just that. It goes off of how many people you've beaten that are actually worthy of bringing up, right? How many world champions have you beaten? How many world champions have you fought? Who haven't you fought? Have you ducked anyone? Are you the face of boxing? Are you a big name in the sport? It goes deeper than just a few things. And so when you look at it, obviously, I would still say Canelo has the better resume. But it's deeper than that. Let's get into it. So first of all, when you look at how many world champions they have faced, when you look at Canelo, he's faced 21. He's beaten 19 of them. And when you look at Crawford, he has fought and beat 8 world champions. Now, Canelo has more than double the wins against world champions than Crawford. So he has obviously faced bigger named fighters and tougher opponents in his illustrious career. Now, when you look at the names, I'm not going to name all of them. I'm just going to point out a few notable key names, fighters that they fought, world champions that, should be recognized. People that should be actually brought up. Canelo fought Miguel Cotto, Jaime Munguia, Jermell Charlo, Triple G, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Amir Khan, Shane Mosley, Liam Smith, Daniel Jacobs, Kovalev, Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant. Okay, these are a lot of good fighters, a lot of great world champion fighters. And then when you look at Crawford, he obviously fought Showtime Sean Porter. He fought Errol Spence Jr., which I'm going to get to that fight later. He fought Gamboa when he was older. He fought Amir Khan as well. And he fought Ricky Burns, Kell Brooks. Those are really those are like, 6 or 7 of the 8 of them. They're all decent names, but I figured I could name most of his. But those are the world champions that they've beaten. Obviously, Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather and Bivol, who are 2 really good world champion fighters. Bivol is now the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. Floyd Mayweather was a world champion in many divisions. He's one of the best of all time. We get that. But here's the thing. They fought all those guys. But you know how I said I was going to bring up the Spence fight? Here's the thing that people aren't realizing. Because Canelo said in that GOAT podcast with Shaq, Tom Brady, and Dana White, to Crawford's face, who have you fought? What elite fighters have you fought? And Crawford brought up Kell Brooks and Ricky Burns. But what about Errol Spence? I understand that he went through the car accident and all of that, but what about Errol Spence? Because here's something that Canelo isn't going to talk about. Canelo's toughest fight, and I'm not going to bring up the 2 losses because I don't count that as a tough fight because he got schooled by Floyd and he wasn't it at light heavyweight. He couldn't really deal with the power of Bivol. He was getting too tired and he couldn't produce enough power to hurt Bivol. So his toughest fight was the first 2 Triple G fights. Now in those fights, did he ever beat up Triple G? I don't think so. He didn't beat him up the way Crawford beat up Spence. Because here's the thing. Those Triple G fights, the trilogy, all 3 of them were great fights. Obviously, he easily won the 3rd one. Triple G was over the hill. We all get it. But the first 2 fights were very, very entertaining, very close fights. They weren't this one-sided match. It wasn't one-sided. Canelo never really had a fight with a tough, equal opponent, a 50-50 fight where he absolutely dominated them. Crawford did that. And I love Canelo. Crawford did that. Spence was probably the favorite, but most people said it was a 50-50 fight. He went in there and he was better than Spence at everything you can possibly name. He was stronger, he was faster, his footwork was better, his power punching was extraordinary, 58% of them landed. He had a better jab, he had better counter punching, he was just better in every way than Errol Spence Jr. And here's the thing, he knocked him down 3 times. He knocked him down for the first time in his career. He made it look easy. A 50-50 fight, he made look easy, and that will go in the record books. It will be in the history of boxing forever. And here's the funny thing. Canelo never did that. Spence versus Crawford is a bigger fight than any of Canelo's fights because of how dominant Terence Bud Crawford was in that fight. His one fight stands alone. I would argue that that fight is better than half of these world champions he fought in those fights. It's way better than all of them. The Triple G fights, okay. That was very entertaining. It was close. We all get it. We love that. But we also like to see knockdowns. We like to see people get hit. Canelo never really did that. Against an equal opponent, he never schooled them. He never made them look bad. He never made it look easy in the fight. He never knocked them down in a 50-50 fight. Crawford did. Canelo Alvarez is being accused of ducking David Benavidez. Crawford never ducked anyone. You could say, oh, Crawford's ducking Boots. Well, let me just point something out. I'm the same person who said I wanted that fight immediately. Boots ended up having 2 more fights. He's getting hit too much by people who don't deserve to be in the ring with him. Boots is a great talent. He's just too flashy, and I don't think he has the IQ, the ability, the talent, the skill to go toe-to-toe with Terence Bud Crawford. I don't see it. I don't think the fight would be close because Boots is too flashy. Crawford's about business. He's all about business. He stands on business, and he rises in the biggest of moments. What a true champion would do. Boots Ennis doesn't, and he hasn't proven it yet because he hasn't fought anybody good enough to prove it. And he's getting hit by people that don't deserve to really be in the ring with him. Canelo ducked Benavidez. It's completely obvious. He doesn't want Benavidez. He doesn't want to fight him. He said he's too big for a 168-pounder, yet he fought Bivol. I don't understand why he would, I honestly think Canelo would school Benavidez, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't think Benavidez has enough to beat Canelo. But that's just looking at that. Canelo's the face of boxing. Crawford wasn't really promoted that well. Until the Spence fight, he was known as the best fighter in the world, but he wasn't the face of boxing. Canelo has been the face of boxing since Floyd Mayweather exited the sport. And he has continued it. He makes the most money in the sport. He puts on the biggest events, biggest fights. I just feel like ultimately Canelo does get the edge on this one. He is the face of boxing. He has that resume over Crawford. But there are things that they don't want to bring up that Crawford has done that Canelo hasn't. Things that Crawford will do that he wouldn't do. Canelo doesn't want to give Benavidez the chance to fight. He doesn't want to take a risk. This fight is Crawford taking a risk. He's going up 3 weight classes basically to fight Canelo. The super middleweight champion of the world, the face of boxing, pound for pound, top 3 in the world. He's taking that risk. He's all about risk, high reward. And he's been saying it in the press conferences. Let me tell you this. Canelo may have the better resume, and I'll give him that. He does. But this fight, and this is what I commented under that community post. I commented and I said, look, it's not just about who has a better resume. We all know who does. But this fight isn't about resume. This fight is about skill. It's about talent. It's about pound for pound in the world. Crawford doesn't need to beat Canelo Alvarez to prove he's better. He just needs to go out there and handle his business. It could be a split decision win. He could fight toe-to-toe with Canelo for 10 rounds and then get knocked out because of a lucky shot. or a clean shot that Canelo has that Crawford can't do anything about, because we already know the weight deficit is too big. We already know it's too big of a weight gap. We already get it. But if Crawford goes toe-to-toe and goes round for round, it's a close match with Canelo, or he goes in there and he's beating Canelo for majority of the rounds and making it obvious he's the better fighter, and then gets hit with a shot he can't come back from, we know who's better. We just know that one's stronger than the other, and we've already known that. We've already established that. It's obvious. We know Canelo's the bigger guy. We know he's used to the weight. We know that. Crawford isn't, so that wouldn't shock me. But Crawford has to go out here and prove himself, and that's what he's come to do. So this fight isn't about a resume. This fight is better than the Benavidez fight because they're pound for pound 1 and 2. I don't care about Usyk. I don't care about Inoue. I don't care about Bivol. I don't care about Beterbiev. I care about Crawford, Canelo. Those are the two fighters I want to see. And their talent, you cannot definitively say one is better than the other. Because I think their IQ is equal. I think their talent is equal. I think their skill set is equal. I think their abilities, everything you can do on or in a boxing ring, I think their talent and ability and IQ is evenly matched. And that's why this fight will be interesting. And that's why I say, no matter if Crawford win, lose, or draw, if he goes out there and proves that he's on Canelo's level, if he can go out there and make it a fight, we'll know who's the better fighter. But if he can't, and it's not even close, all hail Canelo. And I have no problem saying it either, because I love Canelo Alvarez. He's one of my favorite fighters. So that's what I got to say about that. Canelo has the better resume, but we don't know who's the better fighter. And that's why you should tune in on Fight Night, because I will be.